Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fan Behavior. I'm Zoe here with Hannah,
Hi.
remote again.
Remote. Gotta do what you gotta
Um,
do, you know?
I hate when we do remote when we're not that far away,
I know.
because for those who don't know, we're not that far away right now. I mean, we
No.
kind of are. We kind of are.
Yeah.
Um, we typically record at my parents' house in their basement, but I'm currently at my apartment. Hannah's at her house because I'm leaving on a trip for this weekend, so whatever. We're recording this episode in
Scheduling.
advance.
Yeah.
Um, and apologies in advance for that because I have a good feeling that something very important will be confirmed in the next
Yes.
couple of days. But you know what?
Yeah.
The good thing is that we at least have it semi-confirmed and we can still talk about it as if
Yeah,
it,
agreed.
you know what I mean?
As if it's
Um,
real.
yeah. Is there any other things we want to, housekeeping items we want to discuss before we jump into the episode?
Well, I'd love to talk to you about the Miami Grand Prix.
I
Would
would
that be
love
all
to hear
right?
about it. Yes, please, please go ahead.
So, once again, this episode is brought to you by the Formula One Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, the race that's an experience. Incredible food, stunning art, and epic entertainment. Grandstand tickets are still available. Go to f1miamigp.com or check out the link in the episode description and grab yours now. Come
I
hang.
cannot tell
Say
you,
hi.
even with this current news that we're going to discuss, like Miami
I know.
GP about to be something
Poppin'.
else.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Poppin'.
crazy.
Especially for you and I, because well, let's just cut to the chase.
Sure.
Which is that we talked about it last week, obviously, as a possibility. It hasn't been officially confirmed. I do just want to say that because, you gotta
Yeah.
dot your I's, cross your T's.
Yeah.
But seemingly confirmed that Yuki Tsunoda will be replacing Liam Lawson for the Japanese Grand Prix. It's been reported. It sort of, again, it was rumored, or it was, I guess, after China, it was like this may happen.
Yeah.
And then earlier this week, it was like, okay, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And reputable, is that the word? Reputable, or is
Reputable
it
or
reputable?
yeah.
Whatever. Sources like ESPN, motorsport.com, Autosport, et cetera, have
Yeah.
basically said that sources have confirmed to them that
Yeah.
this is going to happen and it will be confirmed later this week. Probably by the time
Yeah.
everyone's hearing this, it will be confirmed.
Right. And I mean, in order to put for those outlets to report it, oh my God, sorry guys, my
I know.
today is
End
wild.
of the day, end of the
End of
day.
the day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The source is from inside the house, like
Right. Oh, yes,
it's,
yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, like sources, yeah, from probably inside the Red Bull home. So,
Yes. And as we've always said, you have to be wary until certain people start reporting that it's happening. And when
correct.
those people are reporting it's happening, you know it's happening. And we've
Yeah.
been around the block.
Yeah. We
Don't
certainly have.
trust the Twitter users who claim to have sources. Those aren't the people you believe, but there are certain people you can believe. So,
Yeah.
okay, I guess just first thing is like, how do you feel about this now that it's really going to happen?
First, I'd like to ask if I'm freezing on your end or if it's just for me,
You
because
are
I feel
freeze.
awesome.
Well, you are delayed.
Okay, great. Well, we're just gonna have to work through that, I guess. I don't really know what to do.
I think it might catch up. I think it's fine now.
Okay, great. Sup? Hi,
Just
everyone.
you're good.
Um, I have a lot of mixed emotions about it because I think in a lot of ways I'm excited for Yuki to get a shot, and in a lot of other ways I'm like devastated for Liam, and I don't want it to mess with Yuki either. And I've also heard a lot
Right.
of people say like it will if Yuki goes in and doesn't do well either, it will like further out the fact that the second car isn't great and it's pretty much undrivable, but also I don't know. Like Matt from Red Flags really summed up how I've been feeling about the whole situation.
I was gonna bring up what he said for those. Well, you can share it for those who haven't
Well, I
seen
mean,
it.
basically he was like, okay, so Daniel can't drive the car, Checo can't drive the car, Liam can't drive the car. At some point you have to realize that like maybe it's not the driver, it's the car, and like Red Bull's the common denominator. Which I could there's a very good argument for that, and I do think it's interesting. And I think I understand why Red Bull's doing it, and I also am just sitting here like, okay, we have. it's race three. Like we've barely made it into the season and this is happening and it's too bad.
Well, also what he said too, which I thought was interesting, was like either way, Red Bull looks kind of foolish because either it doesn't work again, Yuki doesn't perform again, and then it's like, what do you do now? You've gone through so many drivers. It's like, I mean, it's just complete disaster, as if it's not already
Yeah,
a disaster now. Or Yuki does great and he's been there all
the whole
along and
time.
you've just kept overlooking him. So it's sort
Yeah.
of like, I mean, obviously Red Bull would prefer Yuki to do well. They would prefer to
Yeah,
be
of
told, I
course.
told you so about Yuki
Hmm.
rather than have it fail whatever it's been, fourth, fifth time in a row. But it's sort of it's I don't know, it's tough either way you look at it.
Yeah.
Obviously, for me as a Yuki super fan, I am like I feel like we had this conversation, literally that clip I reposted to our Instagram story of us having this conversation, like everything has come true.
Yeah, I
Literally
know.
everything has come true. We said, for those who didn't see it, basically, I mean, if you listened to our episode last year, we hope that Red Bull has learned their lesson about not ruining the career of a young driver. And what if this
Hmm.
ruins Liam's career? And they should just go with Yuki because he's the veteran who's been around, who's blah, 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 blah. And like,
Hmm.
where are we now? You know, not to say I
Right.
told you so, because everyone was saying it. It wasn't just us,
Sure.
but it is kind of crazy that like all of us could see this happening
Yeah.
and
Well,
Red
and this is
Bull
like
didn't.
that's the scenario I hope happens. Like to me, best case scenario is that everyone's saying I told you so to Red Bull because at the end of the day, that's like really not harmful to anyone, you know? Like in the sense of like, yes, it's annoying, but Red Bull's doing well and Yuki's doing well and hopefully Liam's doing well in the Racing Bulls car and everyone's happy or as
Right.
happy as they can be. I mean, I know it's disappointing for Liam, but I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it's like, well, now you finally got the decision right. So yeah, so
Because
I'm
someone
excited.
asked me really quick, sorry, but there's a little bit of a delay, forgive me. But someone asked me if they think I jinxed Liam because of the
Okay,
interview.
okay, I was gonna say though, Hannah, I'm crying because you get, I get you the camo or the not camo cameo of Nick DeVries for your birthday, and then Nick DeVries gets kicked out of his seat, and
Oh
then you
no.
interview Liam Lawson, and then months later he's out of his seat. Now, we have not talked to Checo. We have not talked to Daniel or Liam. You know, there's other people that this has happened to that we haven't been involved, like we haven't had an
Sure.
interaction with. So
Well,
we can't put this all on us.
okay.
But I did think about the Nick DeVries. For those who don't know, yeah, I got the back in 2023, I got Hannah for her birthday a cameo from Nick DeVries.
Hmm.
And I wish I could, I still have it, I'm sure. But like, didn't he say something like, I can't remember what he said, but looking
Yeah, I
back on it,
don't.
it's like, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Um, because he was like, I'm starting off my first season as an F1 driver and like hope my year is as good as something to that effect, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh, tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
Big tough. Anyway, it wasn't my fault, so
No, of course not. Of course not. So yeah, so I'm excited on one hand because I'm like, and as I said on Instagram, the pairing of Max and Yuki is
yeah.
so fan behavior coded. You couldn't get, I honestly, I don't think there's a duo on the grid that's more fan behavior coded currently
Hmm.
than Max and Yuki.
I would agree
I
with
mean,
that.
Max and Daniel would have been too
Right, but
powerful.
they stole that from us,
The
so.
universe said that can't happen for these two because it's just
So then
going to be
did
too
we
much.
jinx it? Because
Well, we're not the only ones that like Max and Daniel too. We
I
can't
know.
we can't, carry that. But I will say I think of because Ferrari, like Charles and Lewis, that's kind of like you like those two, but that's
Mhm.
my team.
Yeah.
And we both like Oscar and Lando, but Max is your favorite driver.
Right.
And Yuki, another thing I have to just talk about too
Please.
because I was thinking about this, in terms of my favorite drivers on the grid and where Yuki stands currently.
Hmm.
Because Charles, Lewis, Yuki, my top three favorite drivers. But I think, like a lot of people, you have like your favorite driver that's competing for wins and championships
Yeah.
or like delusionally competing for championships. In my case,
Yes.
not so much
Uh-huh.
your case.
No.
Um, but, and then you have your driver who's like, you just really like and root for, but they're in a different category because they're just like a good result is a P7 or something. And
Yeah.
that was always Yuki
Hmm.
for me. Like he wasn't in the same group as Charles
Right.
Leclerc or Lewis Hamilton. But now, in theory, of course, could it all go terribly for him and he does as poorly as Liam and, whatever, like,
Hmm.
of course. But in theory, he's in a car that could be fighting for podiums, for
Yeah.
wins, at least at some point.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, where does Yuki actually stand now? Like, where
I
does
know.
he? And honestly, Charlotte Claire is my favorite driver, but I
Yeah.
think I will be rooting the most for Yuki.
Of course.
Like, I will want Yuki to beat Charles and Lewis.
Yeah. I mean,
Does that
Charles
make
isn't
sense?
leaving Ferrari until he wants to leave Ferrari. So, but it's a completely different storyline too. Like, of course, this seat is so stressful. One of your favorite drivers is likely getting an opportunity to drive in it at his home race. Of course, you're going to be rooting for him over Charles. Now, if Charles wins or does better than Yuki, you will be happy for that. But yes, obviously, like I'm going into it hoping, like if I had to pick Max over Yuki to win in Japan, I would pick Yuki because it's better
Okay,
for the
good.
story.
Can you imagine?
No, it would be amazing. Even
It
like
would
a
be
P1,
amazing.
P2 would be phenomenal because there is something about Yuki. Like, if this car really is so crazy, like, I don't know, I drive a Ford. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. But if it really is as wild as it sounds, like, Yuki can manage. I
Okay,
think
so
that's
I was
true.
thinking about this too, which is like, we're kind of off the rails at this point, but it's the end of the day punchiness.
Yeah.
Um, Daniel and Max, they're a little bit freaks, you
Yeah.
know? They're
A little
like
bit.
in the best way, like
Of
love it.
course.
But
Yeah.
they're out there.
Hmm.
If anyone's seen any content involving Max and Daniel, like
Yeah. Like, Drive to Survive
they're
Ice Baths. Like, yeah,
they're
they're weirdos.
they're weirdos.
Yeah.
They're eccentric people. And I'm not saying
Hmm.
that Pierre or Alex or Checo or Liam don't have unique personalities or out there personalities. They all do in certain ways.
Yeah.
But I
It's like a
feel like,
goofiness kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like
yes.
Alex is like funny. I feel like Pierre's like maybe more of a jokester vibes, but like Max and Daniel when they're together are just immature
And
class
Yuki
clowny.
kind of matches that freak.
Yeah.
Like, the
Yeah.
sound, can anyone match my freak?
Yeah,
Like,
Yuki
Yuki
can.
can kind of match the freak.
Yeah.
So,
Which I think is the fear of Red Bull, you know. I
right.
think it's the we let's not, match the freak so much. But,
Yeah.
you're out of
But maybe they
options a
need
little.
to match the freak. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the thing
That's
is
what's
you actually
missing.
that's what's missing. They
Hmm.
try to counterbalance, but
Yeah.
really they just need to full on match it
Yeah.
and they'll have success. So I think you're onto something. Knock on wood. I mean, I'm certainly hoping so.
I
We don't
did.
know.
Knock on this
Um,
too.
Also, this is a massive, reportedly, I don't, this hasn't been officially confirmed, but there's been rumors floating around that Honda was involved in this decision, that they paid Red Bull a nice sum of money for this change to happen, which
Which
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
And
I mean, their
honestly,
name's still on the car and
yeah,
like they're still a sponsor.
I'm
God,
surprised
what
this
is
didn't happen
happening?
sooner. Like, did they try this last year and Red Bull said no? I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. But anyway, again, I mean, this is I'm all for nepotism in this situation when it comes to
for
Yuki and
sure.
Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people also feel like, oh, this is Red Bull like they're trying to save face or something, or this is like they know everyone wants Yuki, so they're trying to sort of like placate people or something.
They
I
are
don't know.
not in the placating
I don't think
business.
so either. And I also think too, in a weird way for Yuki, this is kind of in a way the best time to go to Red Bull in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's missed like testing and everything, but the expectation is literally on the ground floor.
Last.
Like it's there's if he gets into Q2, people will be like, okay,
Keep him in the seat.
like progress,
Yeah.
So
Right.
in some ways it's a little bit of a better situation for him than if it had been at the beginning of the season,
That's
you
true.
know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I will say I'm desperately going to miss. They need to keep continuing the Isaac Yuki content, even though they will no longer be teammates. Like they still need to be
Mm,
doing content together because
I agree. It's
they,
fantastic.
yeah, and like Isaac also could match the Freak as well, I
I
think,
know.
potentially. I think
Yeah.
he's up there.
He's giving the vibes for
He's
sure.
giving the
Like he
vibes for
came across
sure.
as like a very like like calm, cool, collected. No, he's a jokester. He's
He's a jokester for
definitely
sure.
yeah.
What do you think would be a good result for Yuki in China or in Japan? Like what would you think is like, okay, that's good.
Um I mean I would love to see him like put the car where he's been putting like I don't know,
So just take
P7,
the V
P8 like I
carb result.
yeah, I think so. I mean I think honestly to your point like anything better than what has happened in that seat currently is going to be great. Um obviously hope we get a finish like he finishes the race, you know. Don't
Yeah.
want anything crazy happening. Like I don't know what the weather is supposed to be in Suzuka,
Yeah,
but
we
you know
don't
that
know
is
yet.
that is a treacherous track for the rain. But yeah, I mean I think if he could basically put the car where he's been putting the V carb, I think that would be phenomenal. And
I
better is
think,
even better.
yeah,
Duh.
I was gonna say better is
Sorry.
better. Will Buxton. Um, um, I was gonna say, I think it also depends on where, like, if Max, because the Red Bull could be
Yeah.
like the fourth fastest car in Japan. So if Max is qualifying like P7 or something, I
Yeah.
don't know. If Yuki gets P12, P13 in qualifying, okay, that's fine. Is it
Hmm.
great? No, but that's a workable position. You can make moves from that spot. You can get in the points. Like it's
Yeah.
fixable in a sense.
Yeah.
I think Q3 is great. I think if he gets into
Sure.
Q3, that is like solid, solid, solid. That is a great improvement. Because again, it's his first time in the car.
Right.
Um, and then I think in the race, I think he just has to like whether like wherever he is on the grid, he either has to make moves to like move up, or he has to just like hold his position and kind of just like
Hmm.
stay where he is, get points, like
Yeah.
get some sort of points. And if you can do
Yeah.
that, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, well, I think we were talking about last episode the whole frontal lobe dynamic. And I think there's something about Yuki that while he is age appropriate to have his frontal lobe developed, and it is,
Well,
I
he's
also
no,
think he,
he's 24.
oh, good. Okay, great. So, but I think frontal lobe is like maybe even younger than that for him right now. Um, in a good way, like for what's happening, like he's just like not well, you know, at least the what he puts out there, he's not afraid to just full send and make a move, you know?
Right, exactly. He's
Yeah.
brave and he is fearless and hopefully not too he needs to keep it on the track too.
Yeah.
No damage, no crashing. No crashing, Yuki, please.
Yeah. I
Um
like the affirmations. He is brave.
he is
He is
brave, he
fearless.
is fearless, he is strong, he is smart, he can do it. I'm here for it. I'm hopeful. I just have to remain hopeful because what else do I have if I can't be hopeful about this?
Nothing.
And I am if this partnership sticks, then Red Bull Racing, Max and Yuki, I should say, we are on your side. We are rooting for you. We are hoping for the best for you because you're a good duo, and I'm excited to see how you progress.
100%.
Okay, just some other quick things I wanted to bring up. So there were also rumors after the race in China that Red Bull was interested in bringing in Franco to the Racing
Hmm.
Bulls seat, and like some different places were reporting it. That rumor has been shut down. I saw ESPN did an article about it this week and basically said like that's not happening. And also Alpine is still wanting to put Franco in the car before the European leg of the season.
Oh
So.
gosh.
Yes, which is, still 3, 4 races away. But yeah, so it sounds like Alpine is still sticking with their plan of Franco will be taking over Jack Doohan. But you know what? For Jack,
Hmm.
he is not the first driver to be replaced this season. So maybe there's
Yeah.
some sort of consolation in that. Like, probably not.
Yeah. Maybe. I
Probably
don't know.
not.
I think what bums me out is that they're basically waiting for race number 6 so that they can
Right.
switch the
Yes.
drivers out. And
Yes.
like, that's too
Like the
bad.
contract. They're waiting for the
Yeah.
contract to
Yeah.
kick in or whatever. Obviously we love Franco here and
Of course.
we've always wanted
It's,
him on the grid.
yeah. It's what we call
But
bittersweet.
oh yes, retweet. And you know
Mhm.
what, Jack doing? Like go to IndyCar. If this is
Totally.
what happens, if this is what ends up
Yeah.
happening and you do get replaced, like we will welcome you here to IndyCar and I think you'd be a big success
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
that's all I'm going to say. And then the other thing I wanted to just touch on was that there were also some rumors that because Carlos came out after China and basically was like, I don't know where my pace has gone. Like I've lost my pace. It's been really weird. Like I had pace in testing and like even the first part of the weekend in Australia. And then basically like second half of Australia into China, like it's just disappeared. And I don't know
Hmm.
where it is and I don't know what's happened. It was kind of giving like when Daniel was confused
Yeah.
about his car last year and he was like,
Yeah.
let's change the chassis. So then there were rumors that, oh, Carlos has an older chassis and Alex is using the new one. That has been confirmed
Debunked.
to not be true. And they're both using the same parts and everything's fine. Now, could there be something wrong with the one that Carlos has? Potentially. But we've said this, like it was weird that he just kind
Yeah.
of was like falling off.
Disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just, but I guess it just goes to show you like these things happen. Like
I
we
know.
just forget that drivers, it really is about like everything coming together. It's not
Yeah.
just like, oh, you're a good driver, so you'll be good everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Incorrect. Yeah.
Incorrect,
The
exactly.
car is important.
Little do we know. Actually, I think we've always known that.
Yeah, I think Will told
Um,
us that pretty early on.
yeah, the best car has the best chance of winning the race, I think is what he said.
Hmm. And if you win
Uh,
the race, you get the most points.
yeah, and you also get first place.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, we asked you guys for some questions that we'll just run through. And some of them will be fun, some of them will be maybe more serious. I don't know. Um, Okay, which F1 driver is most likely to move in with their teammate? I mean, we know that
Hmm.
Alex and Carlos already like kind of
Like
lived
live across
together
the
for
hall
a
or
little bit.
something.
Well, I think Carlos had like some damage in his apartment, so he like lived with Alex for a brief like I don't even know if he lived is a strong word. Maybe
It's
like
like slept on
spent
his
one night.
couch.
Um, but
That's
who do we
hilarious.
think would be good roommates?
I think
If they were in college, if they were in college in a
yeah.
dorm room situation.
You know, I have an answer.
Oh,
I
sorry,
feel
sorry,
like
sorry.
Pierre, no, it's fine. I feel like Pierre and Charles would live together.
No, I'm saying teammates. Teammates. The person
Oh,
asked for teammates.
teammates. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
then I didn't have an
teammates.
answer, did I?
Though
Um,
Pierre and Jack could be could be good
yeah,
roommates. That would be a
yeah,
very frat broy room. You know,
yes, it
that's
would.
very yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not really sure
Any
if
of
anyone
them?
else would live well together. I mean, also, like, especially if we're talking dorm room scenario. I mean, technically, all of them could have been sh put in a dorm room and like, but I think they would all be reassigned except for maybe Pierre and Jack.
I think I mean, this is talking, pre Yuki to Red Bull, but Yuki and Isaac could be
Oh, that's
roommates.
fair. Sorry,
I
I was
think
already picturing you.
Yuki and Max would never work. I don't, George and Kimmy like could work, but they're
Could,
just too sort of different. But I feel like Kimmy would be
yeah,
so sweet and like like I can see him just like sneaking in the door to like not wake up George, like being very like
yeah,
respectful, quiet.
yeah. He also seems like someone who asks a lot of questions, though, and I can see that like really bothering George. Even
Right.
though
And
George also probably asks lots of questions, it's like only okay when he does it.
Oscar and Lando, I just feel like Oscar would get kind of annoyed with I feel like they're good friends, but they can't live together,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
I would agree with that.
anyway, I'm gonna stick with Yuki and Isaac as my pick. If you were in charge as a team principal, which two drivers from this grid would you have on your team?
Hmm.
I mean,
Max
yeah,
and Lando?
Max and Lando. Yeah, that I think
No. I would pick Max and Oscar because Max and Lando are too blood boily together, I think. They're
I'm
frenemies.
yeah, that's what we were told. I'm gonna say, I mean, I already have Charlotte and Lewis, obviously, but I'm gonna mix it up and say Charlotte and Yuki.
Nice.
That would be
That would be a
interesting.
very interesting dynamic.
Which F1 driver is most likely to get kicked off a plane? Didn't
Well,
specify
depends how
for
many.
what.
Well, if Max has too many G&Ts, but he always flies private, so they're not kicking him
Yeah,
off.
that one. Have you seen that one video of him on the private plane with like Daniel when he's like
Yeah, just
so
like,
drunk?
yeah.
Yeah, if there was that kind of Max, potentially.
I could see George getting kicked off a plane for wearing his flip-flops. No, I'm just kidding. But doing so, but not really. I mean, like, who flies commercial? Yuki,
Um,
maybe. Yuki and Isaac, I could see getting kicked off a plane for just like shenanigans or something. But you have to just have like a lot of really serious stuff to get kicked off a
I know.
plane.
I don't. I really can't see any of them getting kicked out of a plane. Like
No.
they know where the line is. I think.
Well, you'd hope.
Um,
And they usually have minders with them too, who would shut it down pretty quickly.
exactly. Which driver would you want most as a brother?
Hmm.
That's a good question. Because it's sort of like, what do you want from your brother?
Hmm.
Lots of different personality types out there. Also, there's definitely
Yeah.
certain people that I would not want to be my brother just for like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, Oscar, he's already a brother of multiple sisters. I think he seems to be good. And he's just like so chill. And
I was
I'm
gonna
not, so I feel like that would help balance things. I mean, my
I was
brother's
gonna
pretty
say
even keeled.
Oscar or Alex
Hmm.
Albon. I
Yeah.
feel like they would be just nice, solid people.
Yeah.
Okay, if Yuki gets a podium in Japan, how will we celebrate?
Well, I'll
How will
cry.
I celebrate? I know, literally. My dad would cry
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um,
You know what? I'll
I
do a
don't know.
shoey. I'll do a shoey in honor of Yuki
Okay.
breaking the curse and um, like just in honor of Danny Rick, which is in honor of Yuki. I don't know if that
Yeah, of
really makes
course.
sense, but I'm gonna do that. Which F1 driver do you think would organize the best date?
Hmm.
I mean, George for sure. Not that I
Yeah.
necessarily w would want to be on said date with George, but
Yeah.
I think he would be the best planner.
Yeah, I think Lewis could probably, well, at least have someone
Oh,
plan a
for
good date. Like,
sure,
I
for
feel like
sure,
he'd
for
be
sure, for
very
sure.
intentional about it. Um, yeah.
I think that's great. Um, who would you want as a platonic wedding date? I don't know why they said platonic, but we can go with it.
I
Platonic.
feel like Alex Albon would be a really fun platonic wedding date. Just like good
Yeah.
vibes, funny, probably down to like
Likes
hit the
good
dance floor.
music.
Hmm.
Yeah. Pink he'll request Pink Pony Club and everyone will
Yes.
dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex I think I feel like I'm forgetting someone very obvious. I feel like in
Hmm.
these conversations, but yeah, I'll go with Alex. Charles Leclerc could be fun too.
Yeah, he could be. As long as so there's just some things like, when you're at a wedding and maybe he like a plus one and it's like you don't really know a lot of the people.
Mm,
I feel like you need someone who's just like dialed into being up to like meeting people, but then also like, sometimes you just are kind of like, what's going on with those people over there who we don't collectively know. And Alex can just banter, where I feel like Charlotte, you might have to like fill him in on the joke as you're telling it, and like that gets kind of annoying.
oh, God bless him. God
God,
bless him.
yeah, I mean,
Okay, somebody asked me for Zoe, they said, would you, and I'll let you answer this question for me because you'll know it immediately.
oh,
Would you rather have dinner with just Daniel or have dinner with Charles and Lewis?
Daniel.
Yeah.
Guys, it's always Daniel. I promise. It doesn't matter what scenario you put in front of her. 5 minutes with Daniel, a year with Charles. She's picking 5 minutes with Daniel. I appreciate the ass, though. I
Really
actually would
five.
love to find someone like one that stumps you.
Well, I was
Like,
gonna say 5 minutes with Daniel and a year with Charles Leclerc. I mean,
well, I think you've picked Daniel in a scenario that was similar before.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good that's a good question. What
Hmm.
would stump me? But you're right. It's like also I honestly would rather have a one-on-one dinner with anyone over a like. There's something
Yeah.
that it's just
Hmm.
like you're the folk. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
pay
feel like
attention to me and me only.
well, because yeah, if I was at dinner with Charlotte and Lewis, they'd be like talking to each other. I feel like I could be like third
Yeah, like
wheeling the
and
situation.
some inside stuff where they're like you're like I don't
Yeah,
really know what's going on. Can you catch me
right.
up to speed? But they won't because it's confidential. They
I
shouldn't be talking about it
turned
here
down
anyway.
dinner with Daniel to have dinner with you guys, so like I need to know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, keep me apprised, please.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, which driver would you want to have drive you in a hot lap that's not Max and that's not Charles, is what they said for me.
Hmm.
You know what? I'm gonna pick Yuki. I know Hannah would never do it, but I'm gonna pick Yuki.
No, I would not.
Or Lewis.
Oh yeah, I would feel comfortable with Lewis and then
You know who you should
maybe
pick
Alex. What?
is
Who?
Fernando.
You know, yeah, sure, why not?
You should
I miss him. I need him to
get
keep
back
his
on an
car
or
working. Yeah.
oh, get back on TikTok.
Or that too, but like I
Oh,
just
and
want to see him finish a race?
they also said which track would you want to do it on?
Oh. So I know that it would make me probably like so sick, but Spa would be
Spa.
so amazing.
That would be really cool. That would be
But I
really
just
cool.
know, but I think if I can, I know it's different, but if I can handle turn one, the problem is when we did turn one at Coda, I didn't actually, we went in from the pit lane. You did it twice, so you got the full experience. I did not. And I'll tell you what, coming in from the pit lane was a little woozy. So anyway, but yeah,
I would say Monaco, I think, just for
that's
like,
that's a good one.
the experience of Monaco.
Yeah.
Um, it'd be scary though to do it on a well, I guess we
Yeah, I
did do
could.
it on a street track in Vegas, but
Yeah, but
it's a lot
Monaco's a little
scarier.
bit
Tighter.
narrower and yeah.
Um, okay. Would you rather be an okay driver in the Red Bull or a good driver in the Sauber?
An okay driver in the Red Bull.
What does that mean by okay, though? I think I'd rather be a good driver in the Sauber. I couldn't handle being second to Max, I don't
Oh,
think, and
I can.
constantly
I
being
don't
like
mind.
dealt with that pressure of like, you're not as good as Max. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah, but so because I guess what's hard about the way the question was asked is just that like a good driver in the Sauber is still only going to be able to do so much because of the car.
True.
So that would I feel like would frustrate you more being knowing that you're better than this and just stuck at the back? So
That's true. I'd rather be the number one driver at Ferrari.
right, that wasn't one of the options.
That would be my preference.
Yeah,
Who's most likely to participate at karaoke? Well, we know Pierre and
most of them.
Yuki love to sing Adele.
Yeah,
Um,
and I feel like uh Charles would do karaoke. I feel like most of them would do karaoke if the situation was like correct,
exactly.
except for maybe
Um,
Lance.
that's and like Oscar. I don't know if Oscar's really getting involved
That's true.
in karaoke. Favorite teammate duo on the grid. I think we maybe answered that with Yuki and Max.
Well, but
But
they're
you
not
can,
official yet.
well, yeah. I mean, maybe when this has come out, it will be official.
Oh, sure. But also I'm really loving uh Carlos and Alex a
Yes,
lot. I
they're
knew I
great.
would, but
Would you rather drink Danny Rick's Enchante Rosé or Lewis's Amave?
the rosé. I prefer my
She likes real
beverages to have
alcohol.
alcohol in them. But I support and
Of
appreciate that
course.
Lewis is
Of
supporting the
course.
non-alcoholic industry.
Yes, it's an important place. I would try both. I mean, I drink
That's
both of them.
not
I know it's not
how
the.
it
I mean,
works.
okay. What do you think I'm going to say, Hannah? Obviously, I'm going to pick Danny Rick
Right, I know.
all day, every day.
I
Okay.
would like to try. If he wants to send us a bottle, that'd be nice.
Who?
Daniel
Oh, yeah, for sure.
or Lewis. I'll
Yeah,
drink a
either of
bottle of
them.
whatever you send me.
Okay. What? Uh, okay. You're not really as familiar with Hogwarts or like Harry Potter, but we can try this. Hogwarts
I know
houses
enough.
for the rookies.
Okay.
So we've got Liam. Okay, let's just start with Liam.
He gives
I,
me,
f-
go ahead.
well, what were you gonna say?
Well, I get like a Slytherin
I
adjacent
was gonna
vibe, but
say Slytherin. I was
okay,
gonna say
okay.
Slytherin as well. I
But
think
like
that's correct.
but one of the good like one of the
Well, of
nice
course,
ones.
yes, of course. All of
I
them.
know. Like I don't think he's Malfoy.
No, 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 no. Though he kind of
Yeah.
looks like Mal. I mean, he's got the blonde hair, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's not. He's not Malfoy. But like, yes, he's a
Yes.
Slytherin. Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom is a Slytherin, and so is my brother. So
Oh, great. Okay, I didn't know that.
I have a
That
family of
helps put some
Slytherins. Yeah,
great.
and my dad's a Ravenclaw, obviously, and I'm a
Hmm.
Hufflepuff.
I'm
So,
also a Hufflepuff,
right,
apparently. I
exactly.
don't know.
Okay, and then Ollie. I think Ollie is a Hufflepuff.
Okay. I
I
would have said
think,
Gryffindor, but that is
well,
probably
I think
wrong
Kimmy is a Gryffindor
for sure.
for sure. Isaac, I think is Slytherin, maybe,
Sure.
maybe. Um, Gabby. I'm gonna say he's like Ravenclaw.
Hmm.
You know,
Makes
the way that he talked about Helmut Marko, his whole like little thing, that was giving
Yeah.
Ravenclaw energy,
Yeah,
intelligence.
it is. Yeah.
And then I'm forgetting somebody.
Yeah.
Jack.
Uh, Jack is Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff Gryffindor. Is
Yeah,
that all of them?
I think so.
Liam, Kimmy, Ollie, Jack, Gabby, Isaac. Yes, that's six.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Correct us if we're
So
wrong
many
in the
new
comments.
friends.
If you wanted to introduce your friend to F1, which driver would you start with?
Oh, it's so dependent on the
It's
friend.
very dependent on the friend.
Yeah.
You really have to know the friend to
Hmm.
know. I mean, yeah, because like for example, obviously with me it being Daniel, like that worked like a charm, but there's a lot of people who that would not work with.
Right. And that's why I think, and it's hard if you think their favorite driver, like the person you think would be their favorite driver, isn't really like shown in Drive to Survive very much. But that's why, at least for me, that helped a lot because
We can even think about it as like YouTube videos, like it's you have
that's
everything at
true.
your disposal, not
Yeah.
just Drive to Survive.
No, I know.
I
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like you need to show them like personality. So I feel like C squared is always a great place. I know it's old and they're not teammates anymore, but that's a great place to identify if they are into, those two. But it's so subjective.
right. I think Lando is probably the most like universal in terms of
Yeah.
like a woman in their, 20s,
Hmm.
whatever, 30s. Like he's funny, he's good on the track, he's got like a good charming personality that kind of
Yeah. I mean,
win you
he's the
over
lead singer of the
quickly.
boy band,
Right,
Like that's just the
exactly.
energy we have from him right now.
Yes, 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 yes. So I don't know, but yes, like some people are going to gravitate more towards a Charles Leclerc type. Some are going to
Hmm.
gravitate more towards a Lando type. Some will want, I mean, I would never, if someone was getting into F1 right now, I would never show them Daniel because that would just break their
Ruin
heart.
them. Yeah. Or turn them off completely, depending on who it
Right. But
is.
I'm saying
Yeah.
if I thought that they would like him, I still
Hmm.
wouldn't show them him because too painful.
Well, and
Um,
it's irrelevant because he's gone.
he's gone. Exactly. Okay. Two more questions and then we'll wrap it up. If
Okay.
all the drivers were sent to a show like The Bachelor, how do you think they do? If let's pretend they're on The Bachelorette, all 20 of these drivers are all the contestants on The Bachelorette. We don't know who The
Hmm.
Bachelorette is, but who do we think is like getting hometown dates?
Charles,
Yeah.
Carlos, maybe. Um, what is it, four for hometowns?
Yeah.
I could see Max, depending on the person, if he gets vulnerable.
It's dependent on the person so much, obviously.
Yeah. And then I feel like Lando or Alex, maybe.
Yeah, Alex is a good one. There's Alex also very much gives like very sweet guy that is a favorite at the beginning and then like goes home in like
Yeah,
sixth
like
or seventh.
unexpectedly with like after hometowns, like he gets booted or something,
And
and
there's
you're just
always
like,
someone kind of like Lewis could potentially get into a top four.
yeah, or like Fernando
Um,
could be one of the rogue, like, whoa, why is she picking him?
or
But
like
like she
Nico
knows.
Hulkenberg.
True.
Yeah, so yeah, some or even I mean, gosh, like Oscar could or
Yeah.
Lando. Like there is a lot of opportunity. Who would you want as your top four
Um,
from this grid?
Max, Max, Alex, Lando, Charles. Or no,
Really?
maybe uh that's
You
just
wouldn't pick
today's response.
you wouldn't pick Lewis.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Interesting.
I think he would probably make it far, but
You know who I think could
I don't think he
sneakily
would be vulnerable soon enough.
you know who think could sneakily end up in your top four?
Who?
Pierre Gasly.
Oh, sure. Okay. I didn't know if
I
you were
could see
doing George or
that.
something.
No,
I could
I
see
no
that
no
too.
no no no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
sorry. George is if it was mine
We're
too,
much too similar.
he's going home early. I love him, but
Yeah, we're not meant to be together.
no. Okay. Um
Who would yours be?
oh, Lando.
Hmm.
Honestly,
It's just today's answer. It's
I
fine.
know, I know, I know. Because there's some people that I've talked about that I'm kind of like, not so
Hmm.
okay, Lando, honestly, Max,
Yeah,
Oscar,
sure.
and maybe Pierre.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think. Maybe
Nice.
Lewis. Maybe Lewis could get in there, but
Hmm.
TBD. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we have the same top four, so I guess that will
Oh,
be
do we?
weird.
You didn't pick Oscar, I don't think. I think you
Oh,
picked
yeah, you're right. You're
Alex.
right. You're right. You're right.
Um,
Well,
okay,
3 out of 4.
last one. Who is the black cat golden retriever for each teammate duo? That's a good question.
Okay.
Um, so okay, let's just go through it. Let's go through it with the new Red Bull duo of
Yeah,
Max and Yuki. Max is black cat, Yuki is
absolutely.
golden retriever. Easy.
100%.
Mercedes, George and Kimmy.
Kimmy is the golden retriever.
You think so? Yeah, I think so. Max,
I don't
yeah,
like that I
George is
have to pick a black cat
because he's not
because
really black cat, but you're
no,
right. Kimmy is more golden retriever.
yeah.
Yeah. Ferrari, I think this is pretty easy.
Charles is golden
Golden
retriever.
retriever. Lewis is the black cat. Um, uh, wait, what team are we on?
Ferrari.
McLaren.
Oh, yes.
Oscar's black cat. Lando is
Yeah,
golden retriever. That's also
for sure.
easy.
Yeah,
Um,
very easy.
okay, Alpine.
Uh,
I I think Pierre's black cat and Jack's
I
golden
think so too. Well, that's
retriever.
what I was gonna say, but they feel a little like
They're
it could go.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, okay, Isaac and Liam, let's say.
Isaac's golden retriever.
Yeah, Liam's black cat.
Yeah,
Esteban and Ollie. Esteban the black cat. He has a black
yeah,
cat. Ollie is golden
perfect
retriever.
for sure.
Williams, I think
I would say Alex is the golden retriever.
yes.
Yeah, even
Carlos
though
black
he's a
cat.
cat boy. Yeah,
Right. And then Gabby and Nico.
Gabby's probably golden retriever
Yeah. Yeah, Nico's
just
more
because
black
of the
cat vibes.
youth.
The youth.
Yeah,
The youth makes you more golden retriever vibes.
yeah, you're just more full of energy.
For sure, for sure. Okay, that was great. Those were good questions, everyone.
Those were good questions.
And I hope we didn't make the person that asked about Daniel Ricciardo feel bad about
Oh, goodness, no. That's never my intention. It's more me making fun of Zoe for never being able to pick anything but Daniel.
you're so
Because I
right,
am always
exactly.
curious if someone's going to ask the one that stumps you. So definitely keep them coming in the future and like be really creative about it.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be like very, very small amount of time here, lots of time here, or like that's gonna
Yeah.
have to be the
Or like a
differentiating
tragedy
fact.
versus hanging out, which is like that's too obvious. So you don't want that
A
to be happening.
tragedy? What do you
Well, it's
mean?
like XYZ happens to this person, or you get to, no, never mind. I'm
Okay.
sorry. It was connecting incorrectly in my brain.
Okay. Okay.
Or like you can save XYZ people from having like an accident or something, or you can hang out. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, it would need to be so drastic for you to ever not pick Daniel. But that one's not fun because it's like you have to save me from a burning building, or you
Of,
can hang out with Daniel for 20 minutes. It's like
of
obviously, well, I would hope you pick me. I
I
guess I
would.
shouldn't say obviously.
I
Thank you.
would, of
So like
course.
they can't be so black and white, but
Yeah, no, no, it's very challenging. It's very challenging, but
mhm.
it's just the way that it is.
The
It's
way the
something that
world
we can,
works.
yeah, exactly. Okay, anything else you want to touch on before we
I
before we
don't
head
think
out?
so. I think this is the first time I do like when we have a week off between races because it lets you get excited about it again. This week in particular, I'm disappointed it's not this
I
weekend because I'm
know.
just ready for answers,
I
but
know.
good vibes to everyone involved. Maybe by now when you're listening to this, we do have answers and maybe it's
Yes,
the complete opposite of everything we said, which we'll talk about next
later.
week.
Yeah.
All good
Light a
things.
candle, say your, manifestations, prayers, mantras,
Yeah.
send good
Have
vibes
some
to Yuki
snacks.
Tsunoda. Like, we need a positive energy going his way, flowing his way for this weekend because
Yes.
he will need it. He will need it. And I think everyone can kind of, this is a person and a driver we can all
Get behind.
get behind, exactly,
Yes.
and we can
Hmm.
support in this endeavor. So
Yes.
best of luck to him. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he gets up to in Japan and all the antics
I know, me
and,
too.
the
So
craziness that
excited.
happens. Well, thank you for doing this remotely with me. I'm gonna
And
let
thank you.
you I'm gonna let you end it because we can't do it at the same time because it will be
Sure.
off. So you can
Okay.
end the episode for us.
Enchante.